Good morning, children. Today we will learn about the physical divisions of India. Here we are going to read about all the different kinds of natural features that are found in India. And also, children, I will attach the PDF file of the question answers of this chapter so that you can write it down in your copies. Now let us learn about physical divisions. India is marked by a diversity of physical features such as mountains, plateaus, plains, coasts and islands. Standing as sentinels in the north are the lofty snow-capped Himalayas. Him plus Alya means abode of snow. Himalayan mountains are divided into three main parallel ranges. The northernmost is the Great Himalayas or Himadri. The world's highest peaks are located in this range. Middle Himalayas or Himachal lies to the south of Himadri. Many popular hill stations are situated here. Find out the names of 5 hill stations. The Shivalik is the southernmost range. So children, India has a variety of different physical features, like it has the Himalayas, Peninsular Plateau, Northern Plains, Western and Eastern Coast, Lakshadweep Island, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So children, all these are the physical features that are found in India. Now, in the north we have Himalayas or the northern mountains which are guarding our country. So children, these mountains are very huge and they are covered with snow throughout the year. Now, the very term Himalaya in itself it means the abode of snow. So, the word Himalaya means abode of snow. Now, the Himalayan mountains are divided into 3 parallel ranges. So, children, Himalayan mountains are divided into 3 parallel ranges. The first range is the northernmost range and it is also known as the Great Himalayas or Himadri. So, the Great Himalayas or Himadri both are same and they are the northernmost parallel range. Now, all of the world's highest peaks are located in this particular range only. Even Mount Everest, children, it is also located in Himadri range. Then second range is the Middle Himalayas or Himachal. So children, Middle Himalayas or Himachal lies just below the Himadri range and many hill stations are found in Middle Himalayas or Himachal like Shimla, Kullu, Manali, Dharamshala and Gulmarg. All these hill stations, children, are found in the Middle Himalayas or Himachal. And lastly, children, the third parallel range of Himalayas are Shivalik. It is also known as Lesser Himalayas and it is the southernmost range of the Himalaya. Now, we will read about the second physical feature found in India, which is the Northern Indian Plains. The Northern Indian Plains lies to the south of Himalayas. They are generally level and flat. These are formed by the alluvial deposits laid down by the river Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra and their tributaries. These river plains provide fertile land for cultivation. That is the reason for high concentration of population in these plains. So children, northern plains are also known as alluvial plains because they are formed by the alluvial deposits brought by the rivers that flow down from the Himalayas. And about these plains we have also read in chapter number 6. Now, these plains are mostly level and flat and like I said, these plains are formed by the alluvial deposits brought by the rivers Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra and their tributaries also. Now children, these plains are highly fertile and they are excellent for farming or agriculture and that is the reason why a lot of people prefer to live in plains. Now let us read about what are alluvial deposits. So these are very fine soils brought by rivers and deposited in the river basins. Next children, what are tributaries? A river or a stream which contributes its water to a main river by discharging it into main river from either side. So basically children, tributaries are the smaller rivers that flow and it get mixed with the main river, and this is only meant by the word tributary. Now children, we will read about the third natural feature found in India. So it is the Great Indian Desert. In the western part of India lies the Great Indian Desert. It is dry, hot and sandy stretch of land. It has very little vegetation. So children, on the western part of India, we have the Great Indian Desert, also known as the Thar Desert. And as we all know, Thar Desert is very dry, it is hot and everywhere we can find sand only. Now, it also has very little vegetation. So, it means children that very few plants and trees are able to grow in the desert. Now, next children, we have the Peninsular Plateau. So, to the south of northern plain lies the Peninsular Plateau. It is triangular in shape. The relief is highly uneven. This is a region with numerous hill ranges and valleys. Aravali Hills, one of the oldest ranges of the world, border it on the northwest side. The Vindhyas and the Satpuras are the important ranges. The river Narmada and Tapi flow through these ranges. These are west flowing rivers that drain into the Arabian Sea. The western Ghats or Sahyadris border the plateau in the west and eastern Ghats provide the eastern boundary. While the western Ghats are almost continuous, eastern Ghats are broken and uneven. The plateau is rich in minerals like coal and iron ore. So children, the northern Indian plain, to the south of northern Indian plain children lies the Peninsular Plateau, and the shape of Peninsular Plateau is like a triangle. So it is triangular in shape, and this plateau children, it is highly uneven. So this plateau is highly uneven and it also has many hill ranges and valleys. Now children, Aravali Hills, which is one of the oldest ranges of the world, is on the northwest side of Peninsular Plateau, and along with Aravali range we also have Vindhyas and Satpura hill ranges. So Aravali Hill is the oldest range of the world, and Vindhyas and Satpuras are some other hill ranges found in Peninsular Plateau. Now, there are many rivers that flow in this region, like the rivers Narmada and Tapi. Now children, these flow through the Peninsular Plateau and they are the west flowing rivers. So basically children, these rivers Narmada and Tapi, they flow towards the west and then ultimately they flow into the Arabian Sea. Now, the western Ghats or Sahyadris, which is a mountain range, border the plateau on the west, and similarly eastern Ghat, which is also a mountain range, border the plateau on the east. So western Ghat is on the west side and eastern Ghat is on the east side. Now lastly children, western Ghats are a continuous chain of mountain. So it is a continuous chain, it is not broken from in between. Whereas the eastern Ghats children, they are discontinuous. It means that they are broken and they are uneven. And as we all know that plateau is always rich in coal, iron ore and manganese, means plateaus are rich in minerals like coal, iron ore, manganese, etc. Now next type of natural feature is the coastal plains. So children, to the west of Western Ghats and the east of Eastern Ghats lie the coastal plains. The western coastal plains are very narrow, the eastern coastal plains are much broader. There are a number of east flowing rivers. The rivers Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri drain into the Bay of Bengal. These rivers have formed fertile deltas at their mouth. The Sundarban Delta is formed where the Ganga and Brahmaputra flow into the Bay of Bengal. So children, coastal plains are the plains found just beside the sea coast. So we have two coastal plains. One is on the west and second is on the east. Now to the west of Western Ghats and the east of Eastern Ghats lie the coastal plains. So the coastal plain which are on the west side are known as the western coastal plain, and the plains which are on the east side are known as the eastern coastal plain. Now the western coastal plain children are very narrow. So the western coastal plains are very narrow, whereas the eastern coastal plains are much broader. And children, here also many east flowing rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri are flowing. So children, all these rivers are the east flowing rivers and they ultimately flow into Bay of Bengal. And children, all the rivers which I have mentioned till now like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, all these form fertile deltas at the mouth of the river. And lastly children, Sundarban Delta, which is the largest delta in the world, is formed by the river Ganga and Brahmaputra as they flow into Bay of Bengal. Now children, here there is a box. Do you know? Corals are the skeletons of tiny marine animals called polyps. When the living polyps die, their skeleton are left. Other polyps grow on top of the hard skeleton, which grows higher and higher, thus forming the coral island. So children, Lakshadweep Island is also known as Coral Island because it is formed by the skeleton of animals called polyps, and when the polyps die, their shells are left behind and these skeleton grow higher and higher, and in this way coral islands are formed. Now the last natural feature which is there in India are the island groups. So two groups of islands also form a part of India. Lakshadweep Islands are located in Arabian Sea. These are the coral islands located off the coast of Kerala. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands lie to the southeast of the Indian mainland in the Bay of Bengal. Do you know which groups of islands were affected by the tsunami in 2004? Find out through newspaper reports and by speaking to people in how different ways people face this challenge when tsunami struck the Indian coast. Tsunami is a huge sea wave generated due to an earthquake on the sea floor. So children, lastly, there are two groups of islands that also form a part of India. So Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands both form part of India. So Lakshadweep Islands are located in Arabian Sea and they are also known as coral islands as they are made up of corals. Then Andaman and Nicobar Island children, they lie in Bay of Bengal, and these islands were badly affected during the 2004 tsunami. So during 2004 tsunami, Andaman and Nicobar Islands were badly affected, and children, certain parts of these islands got submerged under the water also. Now, what is a tsunami? As you can see, the definition of tsunami is given in the last line. Tsunami is a huge sea wave generated due to an earthquake on the sea floor. So children, with this we have completed chapter number 7, which is our country India. Now question answers, like I said, will be given. So please write it down in your copies and learn them. And now in the next class we will be starting a new chapter, which is the last chapter. So till then, thank you children.